Hi, my name's Ryan Sterling, and on this session of classic Fingerpicked albums, we are going to talk about Nick Drake's 1972 album Pink Moon, an absolutely hugely powerful album. I feel like with this album, he had totally got to the core of who Nick Drake was. On the first two albums, which I adore, I love Five Leaves Left, I love Brighter Later, they're amazing albums, but he was still definitely under the influence of his mum, particularly on Five Leaves Left. If you listen to Molly Drake, his mum's album on Bandcamp, you can totally hear harmonic chord structure, song structure stuff that is similar influence on her son, which is wonderful. But I feel like by this album, you were hearing pure, unadulterated Nick. John Stebbins, who wrote like a whole bunch of awesome Beach Boys books, including my favorite Beach Boy book, Dennis Wilson, The Real Beach Boy. He talks about in that book about how the sound of Dennis making that solo stuff that Dennis did was the sound of a person bleeding onto tape. And I feel like Pink Moon is absolutely the sound of someone bleeding onto tape. I mean, you can just hear the humanness of it so much. You know, there's the odd bit of fret buzz on the guitar. Very occasionally he goes out of time. Very occasionally he sings out of tune. And that's awesome. It's human. It's what we want to hear. Stop quantizing records. Stop auto-tuning. Stop digitally fixing everything up and making it perfect. We want to hear real humans. Do you know what? I reckon Nick invented ASMR, that whispering in your head sound stuff that particularly young people like. If you listen to this album, it's like Nick is in your head, whispering away into your head. Just beautiful, beautiful. It was recorded in 2 late night sessions. Now, at this stage, Nick is having very significant depression issues. He's trying to use antidepressants and not having huge success with that. He's withdrawing into himself. He goes in 2 nights. One night makes one half of the album. The other night makes the other half of the album. Puts down one of the absolute classic finger-picked folk records of all time in 2 short sessions. That is mind-blowing. He uses alternate tunings on this album. On Pink Moon, the song Pink Moon, he uses a tuning very similar to what we talked about Joni used on Ladies of the Canyon on the last video. Now, I'm going to read this off a bit of paper because my brain gets muddled otherwise and I won't remember. So Joni on the song Ladies of the Canyon used C, G, D, F, C, E with a capo on the 2nd fret. On Pink Moon, Nick also had the capo on the 2nd fret and he used C, G, C, F, C, E. Very similar, just the D string different. Nick tuned it down to a C, Joni left it at C. I wonder, was Joni an influence on Nick? She may well have been. I should know that because they're both 2 of my favorites and I should know if probably was. But he is a huge influence on so many people. I would read people like Peter Buck from R.E.M., Rich Robbins from the Black Crowes saying, this guy's changed my life, influenced my music, and you can hear it in both of their bands, absolutely, and they're playing. I remember going to the CD shop, buying the CD, and the guy at the shop gave me that look that record store people can give you of, this is going to change your life, and my goodness, it changed my life. Do me a favor, like and subscribe, please, and then straight away, go and listen to